Time for the Success in Real Estate Show with Frankie Griffin, owner and instructor of Real Estate School for Success, broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you're interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or becoming a real estate agent, you'll enjoy the Success in Real Estate Show on FM News and Talk 100.1 WVOC. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and real estate educator. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a what I think is a pretty good show lined up, because some of the things I want to talk about today are dealing with what we call a due diligence period in real estate. And this is the time, your due diligence period is the time when the house initially goes under contract. There are quite a few things that I believe should be taking place. So we want to talk about that. We're going to spend some time discussing it anyway. And would love to have any questions you have answered. So give us a call. The number you can reach us here in studio is 978-9862. Again, 978-9862 if you're thinking about buying a house or selling a house, or maybe have your house already on the market. Love to help you out any way we can. Give us a call. Again, 978-9862. Well, let me start out with talking about a couple classes I've got coming up at our real estate school, the Real Estate School for Success. If you are thinking about getting your license, and how busy has it been. In fact, you talk to a real estate agent now, and I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised when you hear what most of them anyway are saying. It is extremely busy. What a great time to be in real estate. It's certainly been a lot different than what it's been the last few years, that's for sure. Well, if you're thinking about getting your real estate license, we actually have a class which will be starting up Monday. This will be our weekday class. In fact, that it's a 2-week class, Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 5. Monday through Thursday for 2 weeks, and we can get you your real estate license. For those of you that already have your real estate license, we also have the 30-hour post-license course for any of you that need to upgrade your license from provisional to get your permanent license. We've actually got a weekend class that's going to be starting up 1 week from today, as a matter of fact, which, if I'm not mistaken, is May the 11th. But that's a weekend class. And our weekend classes are Saturday and Sunday from 8:30 to 5, or at least Saturday, 8:30 to 5. And then on Sunday from 1 to 5. So we can go to church in the morning, and then we can go do the classes that we need to get out of the way. But that's a weekend class 1 week from today on May the 11th. We also have several designations and certification classes that's coming up. And for any of you that are needing your continuing education, and in fact, if your last name begins between A through K, then you're going to have to renew this year, and you're going to have a minimum of 8 hours to renew that. Love to have you come take one of these certifications or designation courses, because in addition to the training you get in that class, you also get 6 hours of continuing education on any of these classes. One that we've got coming up next is actually going to be the short sales class, and what an awesome class that is. But it's a 1-day class, and if you have not been trained on short sales and would like to get into short sales, you need to get involved and get certified in this course. It's an excellent class. A lot of short sales going on, so if you're not participating in those, then you are missing out on a large market share, that's for sure. But that class is going to be on May the 17th, again, short sales. And then we've also got an ABR class. That's your accredited representative or accredited buyer's representative course. That's going to be on May the 20th and 21st. That's actually a 2-day class to get that done. Love to have you take any of these classes. We've got several others on our website. In fact, we've had quite a few real estate companies call me up and ask me if I could come in and do this training in-house, and would love to. Y'all, we can certainly do that. So if you happen to be a broker in charge and would like to have some of this training in-house for your agents, we can do that. Just let me know. Give me a call. We can certainly work that out. Would love to do it. But if you're curious about when any of these classes are, or you need some other information, just go to our website, which is realestateschoolforsuccess.com. Of course, don't forget the www.realestateschoolforsuccess.com. And there you'll see all of our courses, all the information. If you need to call us, obviously our phone number and stuff is right there. But we also, I just want to emphasize, for example, this ABR designation. If you don't have that yet, highly recommend you get it, because obviously buyers are out in force right now, and we can only expect that to be true all the way through the year. So you need to get that designation, and statistics are showing, at least over the last 5 years, agents with that designation are making at least 55% more in income than those without it. So it's not just a class to sit down and take. This is a really good class. It'll teach you how to increase your business. You do not want to miss it. And might I say also, if you're thinking about buying a house, I would ask your agent or whoever you're thinking about working with if they are ABR certified. Are they an accredited buyer's representative? Because that certainly represents an achievement in buyer representation that obviously other agents may not have. And there's a big difference in representing a buyer and representing a seller. Big difference. Obviously, they have totally different objectives. They have totally different needs. So it's a good idea to get trained up on what those needs are. In fact, two other things I want to just put out real quick. Anybody who would like to take a real estate course, we would love to help you out with that. And if you want a discount, we can help you with that. In fact, I'll give away $50 discounts to anybody that calls in and ask for one. So if you'd like to take a course, give me a call. I'll give you a $50 discount to apply towards any of your licensing courses. Now, let me just tell you this: you cannot apply this on the designations and certification courses. There are some restrictions on that. But any of the licensing courses, if you want to get your real estate license or the post license for final sales, broker class, those kind of things, I'll be more than happy to help you with. Just give me a call and ask for it. And over the last several weeks, I have been getting a lot of emails from individuals asking all kinds of questions about real estate. Love to help you out with that. And if you have any questions, encourage you to shoot me an email. My email is just Frankie, Frankie, at frankiegriffin.com. Again, Frankie at frankiegriffin.com. So if you have any questions, I'd love to help you, try to get you the answers that you're looking for. Or if you have a suggestion or a topic that you would like to hear discussed on the show, love to hear from you there. Okay? Let's go straight to our phone lines right now, where we've got Miss Erica on the line. How you doing, Erica?
I'm doing well. And yourself, Frankie?
Oh, this is such a fine day today, especially since Erica's calling in.
Oh, well, aren't you sweet?
Haven't talked to you in a while.
Just a week.
Gosh, I know. I've been out of town. I've been in Charleston a lot, doing a lot of training there, and I know you're all over the place doing loans.
I am. It's wonderful, though. I welcome it.
Awesome. Y'all, for those of you who don't recognize the voice, this is Erica West. She's a mortgage consultant with Movement Mortgage, and what an awesome job you do, and just love it when my clients talk to you. But what's going on in financing right now? Any big news popping?
Well, big news for Movement Mortgage. We were just notified yesterday that we will be having a product available where investors can finance repairs to properties to be done.
Wow.
pretty huge. We have a 203K product, but that's for primary residences only.
Mm-hmm.
The new product that was just rolled out to us yesterday, you can use it on second homes, investment properties, or primary residences. It's pretty cool.
Really? And what kind of, is that a conventional loan, or is that another government loan? Or?
I think it's a Fannie Mae product. We just got very little information on it, so I'm really excited. Of course they do that at the end of a Friday, and we all get this and are like, yay, we want more information. And so I'm really excited to learn more about it. It just really is going to open up a whole new avenue for people to be able to, especially investors, purchase properties and finance. You can finance in the repairs that you're going to do before putting it on the market and renting it out or selling it again.
Awesome. And you've got that now?
Yeah, we just got it Friday. I'm really, really excited.
I guess so. Well, and so you're saying if I'm looking at buying a house that needs any kind of repairs,
mm-hmm.
You'll find now. How that do I have to do the repairs before closing, or do I buy the house and then do the repairs then?
The repairs are done after closing by a licensed contractor, and you do. There are a couple caveats to that product in the sense that when the appraiser goes out there, he has to have the list of repairs that you're going to do,
mm-hmm.
so that he can appraise the property based on what is going to be done to the house. It's just very different. I mean, there are credit score requirements and debt-to-income requirements, but up until now, there has not been a product on the market for investors or people purchasing a second home where they can purchase a home and finance these repairs into it, whether it be repairs that have to be done in order to get financing or just repairs that they want to do to the house. There's no minimum limit, so, I mean, it could be anywhere from $3,000 to $130,000.
That's going to be huge. I tell you what, investors have been waiting and looking for a product like that for years.
I'm really, really excited. Like I said, there are credit score requirements and debt-to-income requirements, but this is something that, there hasn't been on the market yet at all.
Okay. Well, I certainly look forward to hearing more about it. Well, real quick, are the interest rates still hanging in low? Or are they moving up?
We're still low. I'm really excited just because they kind of dipped up a little bit a couple months ago, and they've gone right back down. Government loans are holding at about 3.25%.
Wow.
And conventional loans are about 3.375, 3.5.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, we got to go ahead and go to our first break, but how can we get in touch with you, sweetie?
You can reach me on my cell phone at 803-528-5019. You can email me at erica.west@movementmortgage.com. Or you can find me on Facebook. Just search for the Mortgage Go-To Gal.
Awesome. Facebook or Mortgage Go-To Gal on Facebook. And I would encourage you to go look at that because that is a lot of good information there. Sweetie, thank you so much for calling in. Hope to see you very quickly.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
All righty. You do the same.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all, that's Erica West with Movement Mortgage, and she is incredible. She stays on top of everything going on. If you're thinking about buying a house or refinancing, please give her a call. At least let her talk to you about some of the things that's going on. But she can help you out. Again, her number was 528-5019. Of course, area code's 803-528-5019. We need to go ahead and take our first break, but we'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. The number in studio is 978-9862. You're listening to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin on FM News and Talk 100.1 WVOC. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and real estate educator. Thank you for joining us this morning. I've got quite a few things I'd love to talk about, but before we get into it, I do want to encourage you with the change in weather, and it seems like we keep going back and forth. I don't know if it's going to warm up or not, but they keep acting like it's going to. But make sure you stay on top of your heating and air unit. That HVAC unit is so important. You start having problems with that or have to replace it. It's such a major component of the home. So if you're buying a house, you certainly want to make sure you have an excellent HVAC inspection. And I would recommend you give Tim Mosley a call. Tim Mosley is the owner of Carolina Conditions. They do so much more, honestly, than just check in to make sure it's working. They check air quality, among other things, and there's just so many things they do. would encourage you to just give them a call. Again, Tim Mosley with Carolina Conditions. Their number is 233-7172. Again, 233-7172. And if you couldn't capture that information or couldn't write it down, any of our real estate partners, you can find them on our website. Go to realestateschoolforsuccess.com. Click on the radio page, and there you'll see another link there with our real estate partners. They're all listed there with all their contact information, and they will do you an awesome job. All right, if you have any questions for me, and that's why we're here, we want to help you answer any questions regarding real estate, give us a call. The number is 978-9862. Again, 978-9862, and we're going to go straight to our phone lines where we've got Don on the line. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, such an awesome day today. Thank you for calling.
Yes. Hey, my question is, I guess it may be a two-part question. We have a home that it's in probate with a home that my mother-in-law had. We just sold it, and of course, the money for that's going into probate. And then after the probate is settled, the money that's left over, my wife and I were wondering, A, is it a taxable thing? And B, should we take that and invest it in our mortgage or invest it in something else, maybe, and leave our mortgage as is?
Well, Don, that's a great question, and I don't know that I'm qualified to answer that, so I'd be scared to give you too much accounting advice because I am not an accountant. But it depends on, my answer would be this, I guess. It depends on how all this transaction takes place. There are different ways you can do what you just described, and depending on how it's set up and how it's dealt with, from my understanding, will determine how you're taxed or how much you're taxed, if you're taxed at all. So okay. I would recommend you speak to an accountant about that, or maybe a tax attorney. They could give you a lot more advice right there. But in terms of investing it, I certainly don't have a problem with that. I would like to get out of debt. That's usually my first goal. So if I can apply that, if I don't need it for any other person or any other reason, I would certainly do that. But I would make sure I have any other debts paid off before I applied it towards my home.
Okay. You mean like unsecured debts, like credit cards? Credit cards,
car payments, anything like that. And the main reason I say that, and again, I'm not an accountant, so for what that's worth, but the payments you make on your house, at least right now, the mortgage interest portion of it is deductible. So at least that you get some credit for making a mortgage payment. But any payments you make on a car payment or credit cards or anything like that, that's just money down the drain. All that interest, so I'd get that out of the way first. That would be my opinion. Okay.
That's a good road to go to just try to get mortgage free and get all that done first.
That would be my recommendation. That's for sure.
Well, sounds like a great recommendation.
Okay.
I appreciate your phone calls, taking my phone call and taking your advice and everything.
Okay.
You have a great weekend.
You do the same. Thank you very much for calling. All right, and if you have any questions, give me a call. The number is 978-9862. Again, 978-9862. And the main thing I would like to talk about today is, or a lot of the questions I get is what's really going on, what's taking place from the time the buyer makes an offer on a house, then the seller accepts it. Seems to be, I've gotten several emails over the last couple of weeks about that, which, and some of it, the way I'm hearing or reading the email is a little bit concerning, because what I'm hearing people say is once they find out their offer's been accepted, then it's just like there's that lull there. They're not hearing anything from their agent. There's really no updating going on. It's like we're just kind of waiting on closing to take place. And I got to tell you something, there should be a lot of things going on, and hopefully your agent is very busy and taking care of those things. But the agent should be keeping you abreast with what those things are and how things are going. And I guess one of the mistakes that some agents make when everything is going well, we just don't talk to the client about it, just giving them an update. Y'all, I mean, it's just, if you're buying or selling, I'm sure you would like to hear from your agent, even if there's no change and everything's going well, you like to know that. But anyway, there's a lot of things that's going on. We have, at least in the contract here around the Midlands, once the seller accepts an offer, the buyer now has a due diligence period. And the way the contract reads around the Midlands, it's a 10-day due diligence period. And there's just so many things that really need to be happening and taking place during this time. And buyers and sellers need to be aware of it. We want to talk about what those things are, and we're going to talk about them as much as we possibly can. But right now, I do have to take my bottom of the hour break. Love to have your questions answered. If you have any, give me a call. Number's 978-9862, 978-9862. You're listening to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin on FM News and Talk 100.1 WVOC. All right, good morning. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and real estate educator. Thank you so much for being here or joining us today. Love to answer any calls you have. Again, the number to call is 978-9862. Again, 978-9862. But for those of you that are thinking about moving or getting ready to move or know you're going to be moving soon, I highly recommend, again, you call Jack Jacobs. He is with Nilsson Van and Storage. They are worldwide. They can move you across the street, they can move you across town, or they can move you across the world. They have it all. You've seen their Mayflower trucks. They do an incredible job. They have professionals that will come in, pack you up, move you, or as much of the moving as you want them to do. They will do it. But let them come in and give you a free quote or estimate on what it would cost to move you. Again, Jack Jacobs with Nilsson Van and Storage. Their number is 803-786-1090. Again, 786-1090. Jack Jacobs with Nilsson Van and Storage. And what I am talking about today is what's going on during this 10-day due diligence period. There's a number of things that should be going on. Obviously, when we talk about this 10-day due diligence period, first of all, it's 10 business days. And this is the time where the buyer has the right to go in and basically have any kind of inspection, number one, that they feel necessary for this property. Your most common inspections are like your home inspections, and you're certainly going to have those, or hopefully you will, where the home inspector goes in and leaves you with a report that would indicate the condition of the property, what's broke, what's not broke, those kind of things. Another common inspection is a termite inspection, or what we call the CL 100. So this person, and obviously this would be a termite company. For example, Bobby Bain with Bain Termite and Pest Control does an awesome job. He's been doing a lot of these letters here lately. But they are obviously looking for termites, but not just termites. They are also looking for water issues or water damage. And when there are problems with getting a clear CL 100 letter, it's more often water issues than it is the termite issues, for whatever reason. And then the other inspection that we need to get done is what we talked about a little bit earlier, and that's your heating and air letter. Y'all, that's the HVAC or heating and air letter to make sure that that heating and air unit is working properly, because that is certainly going to be a major expense if that thing breaks down or is not working after you move into your new home. So make sure you have a very good heating and air company go in there and check that out. But then some other things that I highly recommend. One is a survey. A lot of buyers opt not to have a survey done because it's not typically required by the lender to do. But I recommend you do it whether it's required or not. And there are all kind of reasons to have a survey. The obvious is to identify where your property lines are. You may be surprised to find out where they are. Because what you see a lot of times, especially if you got a house that's been there for a while, just because of maybe the landscaping and whatnot, maybe fences around the yard, it would appear to be easy to identify where the property line would be. But you may be very surprised to find out that fence is not where it should be. The property line's not anywhere close where everybody thought it was. Well, now this can cause problems in the future. Another thing the survey does, if there's any encroachments or illegal intrusions that may be from your neighbor or the property owner next door, you need to know about that because that can cause a lot of problems down the road also. And an example of what I'm talking about here, maybe they built a shed of some sort in their backyard and thinking everything's just fine, but then they find out that maybe half that shed sitting over the property line because the property line is not where everybody thought it was. So that can cause an awful lot of problems. And another problem that we run into from time to time is identifying easements, and especially these commercial easements where you may have water lines or sewer lines or any kind of commercial lines that could be underneath the property. Could prevent you from doing some of the things that you may want to do in the future. So get a survey done. And there are a number of other reasons you want a survey done, but those are just some of the top ones right there. All right. Well, looking for Bill. Bill must have hung up. Bill, give me a call back. Sorry to have ran it so long. Love to answer your question if you have some. Just give me a call back, and I think Bill was looking for some information on how to contact Erica West with this new loan program she has. So I'll just put, here's her phone number again, Erica West. She's with Movement Mortgage, and her phone number is 803-528-5019. Again, 803-528-5019. 5019, and I promise you she will certainly be able to help you out, get you that loan or any other kind of loan you need. She can help you out there, that's for sure. All right, back to this due diligence period. First of all, I think it's important to understand there are actually three, in the contract that is, you got three options when it comes to a due diligence period. One option is, and this is something that the buyer and the seller have to agree to, but the buyer could make an offer to buy the house as is. That means that they are buying this property as is. We're not having any inspections done. We're not asking the seller to fix anything. We're buying it as is. Now, one misnomer I would like to correct real quick, because I hear sellers or just people in general say some things that I don't think are entirely true. But one is, if you're selling the property as is, then the seller does not have to disclose defects, does not have to complete a property disclosure statement, and that is not true. Just because you're selling your house as is, that just means you're saying you're not going to fix anything, and that's fine. You can put in your advertising all day long, the property is being sold as is. But the law still requires you to disclose known defects. So if you know there's a problem with the property, it has to be disclosed. Whether you're going to fix it or not is irrelevant. And the law requires you to disclose it on the state. There's a state form. It's called the South Carolina Property Condition Disclosure form. But it has to be on that form. Seller, you must fill it out. Buyers must also sign it, acknowledging that they've seen it. So just want to make sure everybody understands as is does not mean you don't have to disclose problems. As is just simply means I'm not fixing any problems. Well, a second option in your diligence period is what we call as is with a due diligence period. So what the buyer's asking or offering here is they're saying they want a due diligence period. They're going to have inspections performed, a home inspection or any other inspection they want, but they're not going to ask the seller to fix anything. So basically, if I'm asking for this option, as a buyer, I'm saying I want a due diligence period. I'm going to have the inspections done. And as long as I'm happy and can live with the results of the inspection, I'll buy the house. But if the inspector finds things that I'm not comfortable with or I don't want to have to deal with myself, not going to ask you to fix it, seller, but I'm not buying the house either. That's what the as is with a due diligence period means. And then the third third option, which is probably the most common in most situations, is when the buyer does request a 10-day due diligence period. And again, this is 10 business days where they will go have all their inspections done. And if they find something they don't like or can't live with, then seller, you can expect an addendum from the buyer requesting that whatever they found wrong with the house be either fixed, replaced, repaired, whatever it needs to be done. Those things need to be done. And I really want to talk about when we come back from our break here shortly, what I'm going to talk about on the other side is what the seller needs to consider when they get this addendum from the buyer requesting things be fixed. There's several things you got to take into mind before you make a decision there. Anyway, love to hear from you. If you have any questions, give me a call. The number is 978-9862, 978-9862. You're listening to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin on FM News and Talk 100.1 WVOC. All right, welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and real estate educator. Thank you so much for joining us. Our final segment, if you have any questions, you need to go ahead and give us a call very quickly. The number is 978-9862. Again, 978-9862. And for those of you thinking about putting your house on the market right now, you have got to make sure, ask your agent this question. Who is going to be taking the photos, the pictures that's going to be used in the marketing and put on the MLS and stuff like that? That is just so important right now. 90% last year of all buyers, of course this is nationally, bought the house, or actually let me rephrase, the house they bought, they found themselves online. So that means that everybody out there buying right now, they're looking online. Well, what are they looking at? They're looking at the pictures of the house. So we've got to make sure that you've got incredibly nice pictures. These pictures need to tell a story about your property, or they're just going to continue on. They're going to walk away. So make sure you have a professional photographer. Might I suggest Eagle Photography, owned by Jerry Bilton. In fact, he's in studio with me now. He's actually videoing the show. But Jerry Bilton with Eagle Photography specializes in real estate photography. He doesn't do other photos. He just specializes in real estate photography. Does such an incredible job. Go check out his website if you want to look at some of these pictures. But his site is www.imagesbyeagle.com. Again, imagesbyeagle.com. Jerry Bilton. His number, you can reach him at 331-9035. 331-9035. And I'm sure you will be very pleased with that. Well, we've got a full set of phone callers. So let's go straight to our phone lines, where first of all, we're going to start with Jesse. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm good. How you doing, Frankie?
Oh, very well. Hope you are.
Hey, I'm a real estate agent, and I've just got back into real estate after about a 3-year break. And I got a buyer under contract, and they're looking at a kind of a unique property. It's like a 75-year-old house on 10 acres with a pool and an outbuilding, and the bank is kind of having a hard time finding comps for it, and it sounds like they're going to give us a hard time about the price, maybe. And what do you do when that kind of thing happens? I mean, can't the appraiser use like maybe a cost appraisal?
Yeah, the appraiser, they can appraise the house, and there's three approaches to finding value. The sales comparison approach. If there's no comps, that won't work. But income approach. But if it doesn't produce any income, that won't work. But the third one is the cost approach, and they certainly should be able to determine the value based on the cost approach, if nothing else.
That's kind of what I thought, so, I mean, I guess we'll see what they say. But, I mean, they did call us back saying that we can't find any comps. So it seems like, well, yeah, if you can't find any comps, then what's the next thing?
Get to doing the cost approach. There you go.
So, okay. Right. I guess we'll just wait and see what happens.
Okay.
All right. And then normally what happens when obviously if the bank still doesn't say the bank appraisal comes in like $10,000 less, then I guess you just got to talk to the seller and say, look, that's the most the bank's going to give us, huh?
Yep. You've got about two options. One, seller, you can drop the price down to the appraised value, or the buyer's going to have to pay the addition out of pocket because they're not going to get the loan for it, or the buyer can just walk away from the deal.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thanks.
All right, buddy. Have a great one.
Bye.
All right, well, let's go back to our phone lines where we've got Frank on the line. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing well. I love your show.
Great.
I'm in the process of purchasing a foreclosure through Fannie Mae. That's who the seller is. And, I got the loan and supposed to close in a couple of weeks. We did the 10 days, which you were describing. Within the 10 days, we did all the inspections. Well, actually, within 3 or 4 days, all the inspections were completed. The heating and air, I said, there's a 5-ton and 3-ton, and they're both dead. So he gave me a bill on $1,000 to replace those. Now, my realtor's going to go to Fannie Mae and say, we need to negotiate this or whatever. But does Fannie Mae, will they do on something like this, or will they just tell, well, you're buying it as is? It's your problem.
Well, no, they'll negotiate. It just depends on how much activity a lot of times. They're not a whole lot different than some other sellers. If there's a lot of attention or a lot of activity, then obviously they're going to want to deal with whichever buyer is willing to buy it as is.
Yeah, and the thing on this house was the house was empty for almost a year, and they had some buyers and it all fell through. And I'm buying it as a primary residence and downsizing. But so it's been on the market for a while. I looked at it and got stuff. But I didn't know whether Fannie, being government, whether they would negotiate or they just say, I'm sorry, it's your problem.
They possibly will. If you got a good agent, I think you can work some things out there. But you are dealing with a bank and or Fannie Mae, and it's sometimes it is a shot in the dark. But
okay,
all right.
I wasn't sure whether we were going to work out much at all, or whether they negotiate. So what you're saying is there's a possibility of negotiating.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
You too.
All righty, one more caller, and let's see. We got Christopher. Christopher, we got about 30 seconds, buddy. What's your question?
Thank you, Frankie. I'll make it short and quick at your top of the hour. On the seller disclosure, I will disclose I'm not an attorney or real estate agent, but where is ignorance an excuse if you don't know what you don't know?
Well, that's not an excuse. And on the disclosure statement, I assume you're talking about the 3 blocks. You got to check one of the 3 blocks for each of the questions. And the key is what they're asking you is, do you currently have any knowledge of any malfunctions, problems, or defects? Okay. So you either have knowledge of a problem or not. But if I check no does not mean there are no problems. It just means I don't have any knowledge of a problem.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying is I don't know that I have any knowledge other than I have a termite litter on the home. I don't know anything structurally. Yep. I'm not a contractor, so I just trying to be honest, but at the same time, I don't want to litigious society we're in, they might say, well, you should have known this, you should have known that.
Yep. And Christopher, that's an excellent question. Wish I had more time to talk about it, but we're out of time, okay, buddy? All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This was a really good show. Thoroughly enjoyed talking about some of the things that we did talk about. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. You've been listening to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin on FM News and Talk 100.1 WVOC.